Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and today we've got another Scream update for you. It's been a while, and I wish I had better news, but to be honest, some of the news we have, I'm not really sure about. It could mean anything, Danny. Anything at all. I love doing these videos, most importantly because you guys watch them more than any of the other videos, but I do want to let you know that while we're in this dark period of wondering what's going to go on with the writer's strike and Scream 7 and all that stuff, there's still a bunch of videos that are going up on the channel. We do a live stream every week talking about movie news and things like that, and also I'm doing a series right now called Just Like Scream, where while we're hankering, while we're hurting for our Scream squirting, we can go back and watch all these movies that were inspired by Scream, some of them of which we haven't seen before. We've done The Curve, we've done Cherry Falls, we've done Sorority Row. There's so many more to come. So if you haven't come, make sure you subscribe and click that bell as well so it'll let you know when we make these videos so that you'll check those out too and you'll get a little Scream in your tum-tum. Why is everything about... Is harmonica style okay? So first off, the first bad thing that happened was obviously the Writers Guild strike happened. And you know what? I hope those people get paid what they're worth. And I hope they figure all that out. But just from a straight up selfish standpoint of us being fans of the entertainment that we watch, it's not good news that this is happening at all because I don't know how all this stuff works. I'm not a doctor or a pediatrician, but I do know this, that it's going to delay stuff at the very least, right? So the idea is no one can write anything new as of now until whenever this shit gets sorted out. So if it was written beforehand, then they're fine. And a lot of studios are saying that. They're like, hey, we've got enough shit in the tank to like last us forever. You go ahead and do your thing. But eventually, there's no doubt it's going to catch up to them. And also, I'm pretty sure that they're just talking out of their butt cheeks like Ace Ventura trying to, win this argument. They're probably not actually fine. And where this lands in Scream is that we have a question to ask ourselves. Was Scream written? Or is it going to be delayed also because of the writer's strike? Now, there's a lot of other questions to answer too, which we'll get to as far as when Scream 7 is going to come out. But starting with this one, has Scream been written or not? Look, we talked to the writer of Scream 6, Guy Busick, and he literally said, I'm not allowed to speak on it. I'm not allowed to even talk about it. He's like, all I'll say, because it hasn't been officially announced yet. And he said, all I'll say is, I have ideas just like anybody else. But there was no confirmation that he was going to be doing it, that Radio Silence was going to be doing it. Just from the vibe I get, personally, from the interviews I've seen with him, it doesn't sound like the movie has been written, especially since the last one was written so fast. I could be wrong about that. There's a bunch of people saying that Viewer Anon, the anonymous person who also said that Neve Campbell was going to be in Scream 6, Viewer Anon, said that, yes, I'm hearing something along the lines of they're hearing that the Scream 7 script was already completed. Personally, it doesn't feel that way to me. I just don't get that vibe from what I'm seeing, what people are saying and things like that. I could be wrong, but that is just a rumor that's going out there, and it's nothing more than a rumor whatsoever. And another thing that's interesting about that is Guy Busick told me himself that they pitch the entire script to the studio before it gets filmed. So they will write it, they pitch it to the studio, they get the okay, and then it's directed, which is why there's not that many changes from script to Scream, is because they've already gotten all this stuff approved. There's no surprises. So in that sense, if that had already happened, you probably would be okay to go ahead and film Scream 7 without worrying about, oh, but we're going to need a writer to fix this and fix that. So that is one thing that kind of points to the fact that if it has been done, that's good news, but there's just so much more to worry about other than that. I just find it hard to believe that they would go in and write an entire new script and have Scream 7 in the can, unless maybe they did it because they knew the writer's strike was coming up, because I think a lot of people were predicting that was upcoming and when the deal ended. So that's a possibility. But also with what just happened with Scream 6 and Neve, like, you don't know if Neve's going to be in the movie. You don't know if she wants to come back. What's going on with that contract situation? There's no way they can know the players that are going to be in the movie. And if you go into a writer's strike and you have to change one simple character and you're not allowed to do it, you're fucked beans anyways. So it's a question to ask. But again, all we have is some random person on the internet saying that they hear that a script was already deep in being worked on at the time. So I think we have to work under the assumption it's not done, which means that we have to work under the assumption that we're gonna have to wait until the end of the writer's strike, which means another possible delay for us getting Scream 7. And the worrying about who's going to be available and who's going to actually be in Scream 7, it doesn't stop with Neve Campbell. Oh no, you perverts. It goes all the way up the ladder to Jenna Ortega. Jeff Snyder recently said on his show, and I found this from our buddy Critical Overlord, posted this on Twitter, very interesting, said,
but I'd heard a rumor that they may not wait for Jenna Ortega.
What? Why wouldn't you wait for Jenna?
Wait a second. Wait a second.
No offense to Melissa Barrera, but
Jenna-
you wait for Jenna Ortega.
Jenna's super busy. Right? Jenna has to do Wednesday, and she has
Beetlejuice, possibly.
a whole bunch of commitments and stuff, right? So it was like, I can't really do Scream 7 right now. So I'd heard, well, Scream 7, we gotta go. We gotta have it out next year. I don't know if we're gonna wait.
Now, again, we're in rumor town, party of fuck you, but the point is that makes sense. We just had it announced that Jenna Ortega is going to be in Beetlejuice 2. We know she's doing a Wednesday season 2. We know she's doing Beetlejuice 2. We know that Radio Silence is away filming their Universal Monster movie right now, which they cast Melissa Barrera for. So now that's a thing that could shoot quick and they could come back and they could start working on Scream 7 within a few months from now, which would be no big deal. And I think we're all at this point expecting Scream to come out no earlier than 2025, I think, at the best. I think 2024 is off the table for sure, just in my opinion, the way I see the world, the way I see what's going on. Hopefully it doesn't go much further than that, but you've got, okay, so you got Melissa Barrera, you got Radio Silence, they're doing a thing for Universal. Over here, you've got Jenna Ortega's character who's doing Beetlejuice 2 and doing Wednesday season 2, and she's an extremely in-demand actress. And I think I just saw Melissa Barrera was up for yet another role in an erotic horror movie. Count me in, Gregory. Who wants a mustache ride? I do. And here's what I want to throw at you guys. Other than my penis, this universe is getting so broad. What if you got Neve Campbell back? Okay? And whether it's Radio Silence or not, preferably yes, but like if it's Radio Silence or not, what if you got Neve Campbell back and you weren't able to get Melissa and Jenna Ortega back? What happens then? What if the franchise just pivoted and in 7, you gave it a subtitle, didn't call it 7 because that would too closely link it to 6, which Neve wasn't in. But what if you did? What if you did a little pivot and you went and told a story and really gave Sidney Prescott an entire movie, mostly about her, maybe Gail's in there as well, or however you wanted to do that. What if it focuses on Neve and her life with her kids and Patrick Dempsey and a Ghostface calls, and it's a very singular story and it's kind of out of the realms of what's going on with the Core 4? I mean, it's not that crazy of an idea. And look, I've said this since the beginning. People said when Neve wasn't going to come back for Scream, they said, hey, you can't scream without Neve. And I'm like, we screamed without Wes. We can scream without fucking anyone except for Roger Jackson and Ghostface, in my opinion. I go see a movie for a scary Ghostface film for all the Scream vibes. I don't go see it for a particular actor or actress. Now, I fucking love Jenna Ortega, and you know I love Melissa Barrera, and I love the Core 4, and I love what we've done with Scream 5 and Scream 6. Huge fucking fan. But hear me out. I mean, if you did pivot to a different story, whether it's Neve Campbell or whatever, and you just told something super fresh and like on the outskirts of it, why not? Why not? I definitely want to end up getting our story of where these people's lives go. But they said it themselves. They did book in that thing. So if Scream 6 was going to be the last Scream ever, it works out the way that they wrote it. Even though there's a whole lot more we want to know, there's a whole lot that's been hinted at. Technically, it works. So what I'm saying is, if Jenna can't come back and Melissa can't do it, or Radio Silence, or whoever, and the writers have said this several times, they're like, whether it's us doing it or someone else, we want to see Scream live on and do what it's doing and be a healthy franchise. I think it'd be a pretty neat idea to do that. And I think to do that. So what do you guys think about that? Like, I mean, I get the idea that like putting Sidney Prescott into this new story is almost like it felt like it had a little bit of room to breathe in this last movie. We got to know the Core 4 a little bit better. And it's nice to see her character have a happy send-off. But what if you didn't have to have everybody in every movie? What if a movie could just go over and see what's going on with Sidney and maybe she's attacked by Ghostface? And she's like, hey, no, you guys stay over there. You guys are in college. Take care of your lives or whatever. And another thing, what if just Jenna wasn't in the movie? And they did bring back Melissa Barrera, and they did bring back the Core 4, and did or did not bring back Neve Campbell, but they do come back and make a Scream 7 focused on these people. Would it not make sense after the whole storyline of like, hey, you've got to let me go, and you've got to let me live my life, and I'm ready to take care of myself, that was going on between Tara and Sam? Wouldn't it make sense if they had to do the movie without Jenna Ortega, if she was like, no, I'm letting her go. You know what I mean? I'm letting her go and live her life and kind of recenter and figure herself out. Now, that would be sad because she just had that relationship start with Chad. But however you wanted to write that, it would be a very easily written thing, would be her absence, Jenna Ortega's absence in this movie. So those are just interesting things. Look, what do I want if I had my druthers? I would love to see the Core 4 and the Scream 7 just come out fucking next year and just continue to kick ass. I definitely don't think we're getting in next year. And I think my gut tells me that they'll just wait. They'll wait for Radio Silence. They'll wait for Jenna Ortega. They'll wait for Melissa Barrera and just have everything back in place, which is why we haven't had an announcement. Or maybe that's just a Writers Guild thing. I don't know. But my gut tells me they're just going to wait and we'll get Scream 7. We're just going to have to wait till 2025, 2026 for it possibly. So I would love to know what you guys think about that. If they had a different crew really come in just to do this like side story about an attack that happens on Sidney Prescott, how interested are you in that? Or just a different version of Scream in its entirety for just a movie while everybody's out doing their other things? You can do it! And finally, we're going to end this on some good news. God damn it, you fucks. You motherfucks. We're going to end this on some good news. Josh Segura, who I loved in Scream 6. I thought he was great. He was kind of weird and strange and different. You couldn't tell if he was a good guy or a bad guy. Everybody's treated him like an asshole, like a bad guy, rightfully so. He's a new dude. And they like pushed him out, but he was always so cool about it. And that scene in the train where he steps up in front of her, just ready to take a Scream knife to the gut to protect his new girlfriend or whatever. He just seems like a top to bottom awesome dude who weirdly has a gigantic ladder in his New York City apartment. But we know for a fact that he wants to come back, because he told Entertainment Tonight, if there's Scream 7, your boy will be back 100%. That relationship between Sam and Danny, I love that. That dude just seems so happy and like he's just happy to be there. Even the character's like, I'm in a Scream movie. I don't give a fuck. And I really enjoyed his performance. And a fun fact about him, they made everyone do Ghostface reveals when they were auditioning them because they didn't want anybody to know who the killer was. And when they said when they watched Josh Segura's Ghostface reveal, they were like, holy shit, that was actually scary. That was awesome. And they loved it. So just something to think about. Maybe they do turn him into a killer eventually. But hey, that is the Scream update, my friends. If we're getting to Scream 7, we at least know Josh Segura wants to be back. And it's a good news at the end of the day anyway, because you got to be happy for Jenna Ortega and her career taking off and Radio Silence and all these people doing well in their jobs and their lives. The only sucky thing about it is the writer's strike. Hopefully that will end soon, and hopefully we'll all get laid tonight. But as I said, if you're hankering for some Scream, if you're hurting for a Scream squirting, I'm going to keep saying it no matter how awkward it is. Check out our Just Like Scream series. I'll put some videos at the end of this. And hey, I love your all's fucking faces. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you. Like DX said. And as Patrick Bateman would say, Sabrina, don't just stare at it. Subscribe to it. Halloween never ends. Suck my fucking dick. And I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not. Yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS, cause Halloween never ends.